How are you supposed to feel when your stuff is stolen? I noticed a video how I felt when our stuff was stolen. This is insight from the Minimal Mom. Dawn Madsen is the Minimal Mom here on YouTube. You might want to check out her channel. It's awesome. She invited me to have an interview with her where we were talking about how to handle some of the clutter in our homes. I think you might enjoy that interview, but I appreciated Dawn's approach. By the end of this video, you'll have a brand new perspective on your belongings and a new resource that will help you to create a more peaceful environment at home. The Minimal Mom, think about it. If we could minimize some of the stuff and the clutter in our lives, what would that clear up in our mental space? That's kind of the feel of Dawn's channel in the interview that I had with her. Because Dawn and I are YouTube buddies, I follow what she posts, and she put up an interesting video recently where she talked about how she felt when their stuff was stolen. And she shared two examples in the video about burglaries that occurred in their car and in their home. Can you imagine how you would feel? I was a little surprised at how Dawn felt. She shared two somewhat surprising feelings that she had when their stuff was stolen. And I'm trying to make sense out of that on today's video from a psychological perspective. One of the feelings that Dawn shared was regret. Wait a minute, hold on. Why would you ever feel regret when your stuff is stolen? Here's what Dawn pointed out. The items that were stolen were some things that she was saving for a special occasion. You know how sometimes you have a nicer something and you set it aside because it's for a special occasion. The insight that Dawn shared about this is that life is a special occasion. Why do we have the stuff in our world anyway? Can you imagine some of your special things being stolen? Well, this is what happened to the Minimal Mom. And she realized that she wished she would have enjoyed it while she had it. This brings up all kinds of interesting thoughts about our possessions. In our coaching programs, I teach that there are 5 levels of key relationships. And it starts with our Creator. Now, I'm not here as your spiritual guide, but I acknowledge that we have to come to terms with our source at some point. This is an important key relationship for us. At the second level is ourselves. Some people skip this when they don't even realize it's a relationship. And they go out there and they're so kind and compassionate to everybody else, but they're kind of cruel and harsh and judgmental toward one right here at home. Our relationship with ourself matters. At the third level is family. We can have all kinds of discussion about that. That's a big focus of our channel here. At the fourth level is other people outside of our family. And at the fifth level is things, stuff, property. We do have a relationship with our things. We call that stewardship. Our responsibility to take care of things. And I'm going to come back to that when I mention Dawn's second reaction, or the second feeling that she shared on this video. But going back to our relationship with things, are we really putting our things to the highest use? And things are not as important as people. So you look at your key relationships, the people all come first. Now the things are on the list, but they come in at the fifth level of importance. So when we use our things to enhance our relationships with people, that's when we've got things in order. If we sacrifice our relationships with people in order to get things, that kind of messes up the priority. And I haven't seen anybody do that really effectively and have a joyful experience. As I heard Dawn talk about feeling regret after her stuff was stolen because of how she had not used it prior to losing it, I remembered an interview that I did with Dino Pinder. Dino is from the Bahamas, and he has a very cool island kind of a personality. He dives for lobsters as a way to make money. This is who Dino is. And I remember interviewing him on my podcast, Live on Purpose Radio, when he said, "You know, Dr. Paul, we should give flowers to people while they're living." I thought, wow, that is so cool. I attended a funeral last week. People brought flowers. And this is what Dino was referring to in my interview with him. Why don't we bring them flowers while they're living? You know, watching this video from the Minimal Mom helped me to really connect to what's most important in my life. And can I fully live today as if today is the special occasion? What is it that you've been saving for a special occasion? Life is your special occasion. I'm going to share Dawn's other feeling with you. Before I get to that, would you just take a moment to hit that subscribe button and make sure you click on that notification bell too so that you can be notified every time we come out with a new video for you. The second thing that the Minimal Mom felt when her stuff was stolen was relief. That's weird too, isn't it? How could you possibly feel relieved? Now, she felt all of the normal, natural human feelings that you would initially feel when someone violates your space or takes your property. Fear, anger, resentment, all of those things are natural human feelings. But the thing that settled in with her was regret, which we've already talked about, and relief. Now, this is interesting. She was referring specifically to a container full of seashells that her kids had collected when they were on their vacation at the beach. And the kids had collected these shells thinking, oh, you know, we're going to do something with this. How many times have you grabbed something or purchased something thinking, I'm going to do something with this? Psychologically, you have just created a commitment. Now look around your home a little bit. Look in your closet. Look on your desk. Look on that first horizontal surface inside the door when you come into your home. Is there stuff piled there? Everything that we pile up becomes an unkept commitment. Now, I'm giving you my take on why Dawn experienced relief. These unkept commitments pile up. When the stuff is gone, so is the commitment. And I think that's why she felt the relief. She acknowledged this on the video too, that she was going through mentally how, okay, now we have to find a way to clean these properties so that they don't stink. Where are we going to store them? What are we going to do with them? The kids were sad, obviously, when their shells were taken, but Dawn felt relief. She felt compassion and empathy for her children too. She's a good mom. But she felt that relief because now the unkept commitment is gone. How can we apply this to the stuff that's in our life? Take a look at some of those piles and see if that commitment is really a commitment or it simply represents an idea that you had that maybe you would be interested in. There's a difference between being committed and simply being interested. I think the way we can tell the difference is whether it shows up on your calendar and in your checkbook. Because the things that you actually commit your time and your money and other resources to are the things that you're actually committed to. Some of the stuff that's piling up in our homes, maybe not so much. Would it be okay to let that go? Go back to the first idea too, when feeling regret that we hadn't used something. What if we could take half of the stuff that's cluttering up your life or your home or your space and put it to a higher use? Think about that idea for a minute. A higher use. I realized this with Vicky as we were cleaning out our basement. And there were things there that we hadn't used in a year or 2 or 5 or 10. And it's sitting on our shelf, really. Is there a higher use for this thing? We decided that some of those things could be better used by donating it to someone who might actually use it today. And realizing that there's an abundance. We can always go find what we need when we need it. This is the kind of world we live in now. I appreciate the Minimal Mom and how she turned my mind onto 2 ideas, regret and relief, that she felt when her stuff was stolen, because it's given me a new perspective on my own belongings. I hope it's done the same thing for you. Hey, one of the things that I talked to Dawn about was how to reprogram your own mind. Cue up that next video and you'll see exactly what I'm talking about.